well, he scares the rest of us too, especially driving through Barrel. That was scary.
Y'all slept most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Paranormal enough.
I did not sleep. I could not sleep on the way there.
I know. Let's just say there's some pictures of you passed out.
That was definitely on the way back. All right, so I will admit to that. Okay, I was like trying to keep you awake, and I was falling asleep and like dozing in and out.
So you did a good job of keeping you awake compared to the rest of the people in the car.
Yeah, that was just one hell of a ride, man. Like I love, hey Yvette, I love the conversation going up there and just the amount of fucking laughs we had, dude. Like that was immensely.
We got to put a camera in the car.
Oh yeah, dude. But yeah, no.
I never laughed so hard in my life.
See, when you add another element of humor, like, other than ones that don't speak, like, Chewbacca, I think, again, you're going to laugh hysterically the entire way. I had to.
No, I hear you. What's that?
Yeah, hit the camera button.
That won't come on.
Oh, we don't want to see your ugly face anyway.
Yeah.
That's it.
Not unless you have the Bigfoot on.
I said microphone or something's breaking up.
Yeah, I heard it too.
Sounds nothing.
Let me see.
His Bigfoot outfit on.
He better have that shit on. That should be funny.
What about now?
Say again.
What?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Are you crawling across the ground or some shit?
Did you leave the phone at the end of the hallway and then start talking? Like, are you down the hall?
He's outside in the woods.
I'm telling you, man. Come on down to Florida. That's Swamp Ape right there. That's where he's at.
Against the phone.
But no, I really just kind of wanted to put this together because I think, we did the podcast on Monday, which was amazing, with War Party Paranormal and really good. But I like to kind of give the breakdown about how it all really came together, step by step, what we experienced in each building, because we never really got a chance to really get into that at Pennhurst, what we experienced and really go through the motions. Because right now, I think a lot of us, even Yvette and Haunting Angels, we're still trying to get and process everything, right?
Yes.
So I think it would. What's that?
I still got a lot to review. I've skimmed through some stuff that I knew we had really cool activity, and like the post I made today last night on TikTok.
Yeah.
Putting together EVPs, but yeah, it's still a mind process of what we experienced, and just still amazed at what we experienced. On top of getting my from the exhaustion of long weekend and all, just getting mentally back into focus, work, real life, and then focus on going through footage and audio and all that. It's a lot.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I was drained Monday and Tuesday, like absolutely drained. I was tired as anything. Yeah, gotta love that paranormal hangover. You're right. I loved it this time. Because I'll be honest with you, like James and Crossthelineparanormal has gotten me back into the field. So I'm still very much an amateur. I've done a few ghost hunts in the past when I was in the military. But never to this amount, right? Never this extensive. So it's really opened my eyes. And so if you really look at it, like my second true investigation of the paranormal, it just happened to be at one of the most haunted asylums in the country, so, but I love
yourself so well, even, other than leaving a case full of equipment.
I knew that was going to come out. I knew that was going to come out.
And around, far away at that, we had to walk our asses off. off in the rain.
But I
and everything
walked
else.
with you.
All in all,
Okay.
yeah, there you go. You were scared, just admit it.
just about leaving the case. That's the only thing I was
Right.
scared of. I'm like, oh shit, I left the case again for the second time of the night.
Yeah. But
That
honestly,
was funny.
even for being your second big location, I mean, you really handled yourself very well. I mean, I would never thought you would consider yourself an amateur. Honestly,
I appreciate that.
You know?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like you, I'd like to look at a lot of things logically, right? So I like, and we'll get to it, but like when we were down in the Mayflower basement, right? I saw that shadow figure, right? And I stopped for a second and processed what I just saw. You know, and I'm like, oh shit, it was because it was like hello, and then but we'll get there in a second. But I love to do the rundown because Haunting Angels is actually the one that reached out to you.
Yes, I'm still trying to figure out how come Brandon don't know how to turn a camera on.
I'm not Bigfoot.
As long as you're dressed, man, just hit the camera button in the bottom.
Yeah, you'll be all right, man. You'll find it. It actually looks like a camera. So if it looks like a camera.
It says camera.
And well, for those in Florida, we got to spell that out. C-A-M. There's a hard E in there, right? R-A.
He's in BFE, Florida.
Madison's no joke. I mean,
You got jokes, don't you?
Yeah, just show up for school and you'll pass.
That's right.
Wait
a minute.
Never getting away from Yames, am I?
No,
No, you're not. That is dedicated to you, full blown.
It really is. That was probably the best story. Mr. James, I loved it.
Brandon, you have to make me a shirt, Yames.
James team lead, you know what I mean, or something like that. Just throw it out there. So
I identified as James.
yams are good too. So let's not throw that out there.
Yeah, I like some yams.
So Haunting Angels reached out to you and provided the invite. So they did a lot of the legwork to get us to Pennhurst. Can you kind of run us through how that happened?
Well, we met up at Lynchburg. Me and Lola, my daughter, went up and we met them at Lynchburg, home of Jack Daniel's Distillery, and we investigated a funeral home and a jail. And we got talking about the whole Pennhurst thing, and I wasn't planning on going, honestly, because we had the Gettysburg Bash not 2 weeks earlier. And I mean, that was a long drive in itself there, and then driving back. But my wife wanted really to go. Pennhurst was on her bucket list. And hey, Jen. And I was just like, man, another 14-hour drive in less than 2 weeks. That's going to be tough. And so, you know, that's all I told her, and she's like, hell yeah, we're going. And so it basically turned into we're going, which kind of funny story. We had the hurricane come through, and we lost power. And we got a roommate, and I have a generator, and I was worried them capable of running the generator and having to go get propane and all that stuff. So I had sent in our group message that, you know, we may not be able to go. I was talking about me and my wife. Mm-hmm. Well, my wife texted me back separately and said, I don't want to sound like a dick, but I can go and you could stay home.
She did say that.
Oh, jeez. That's freaking hilarious.
Like, oh, yeah.
David, don't worry. If he just stayed home, we was all going.
Yeah. We were going.
Thankfully, we were all able to go. We got power back on the night before and leaving. And so, yeah. And then it just turned in from, inviting you and Brandon, and I hated our friend Courtney that you met at Hamilton Jail.
Right.
And her boyfriend Micah, they weren't able to go. They were supposed to go, and they had to cancel last minute, unfortunately. And so, that's basically what it led up to, and then just us all getting in the car and just a barrel of laughs from there.
And for all pun intended, the barrel we also went through as a tropical storm.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. We caught back up to it.
Yeah. I mean, because like to be honest with you, that was probably the hardest I've laughed in quite a while.
Oh
And
my God.
because we were just going back and forth and razzing one another, and just, I mean, it was the purity of it, right? There was no harm intended. Everybody
No.
has a good sense of humor with it, but Brandon caught
Even
the brunt of it.
Brandon, yeah.
What's that?
So you caught the brunt of that road trip up. I mean, I know you have a damn good spirit on you, bud, and but yeah, I mean, we learned that we can't play Brandon's voice memos in public. You can never play his voice memos in public. Okay, that's just life lesson. Don't do it. All right, because to be honest with you, it kind of hurt us even listening to him record it. Okay, so because it was a constant press of the button, constant. I mean, I'm surprised the boy still has thumbs, because that was how much he was actually going back and forth.
He got excited when he found out he could do voice recordings.
He's saying, I don't have to type anymore. But I mean,
you was falling asleep behind the wheel.
I was on the way back.
I was on the way back, and I was supposed to be up trying to keep him up. But we'll get there. I promise. It's hilarious the way it happened. So we all jump in a car, and we're driving through Tropical Depression Barrel at this point, because it had just gone through Florida and through Georgia, and then came out and went back in through South Carolina, or Georgia, South Carolina area.
Before we hit it, though, we had to stop at Buc-ee's.
Yeah,
we
did.
Stop at Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's is a necessity on a road trip. I don't care who you are; it's a necessity.
Necessity.
So we were watching the weather the entire time, and driving up there, making sure that, watching the tornado warnings to make sure we weren't driving in any heavier weather that we had already gone through, and we were going back and forth throughout the laps. And then we stayed the night in, what was it, Harrisonburg? Right, yeah, Harrisonburg, Virginia.
Yeah, we drove all the way to Harrisonburg.
Yeah, and then we got up the next morning and we went to Gettysburg. So Brandon had never been to Gettysburg before, so that was a really cool experience to kind of go through it. And it's very sombering, obviously, if you've never been there before. You can just feel the pressure there. I mean, it doesn't matter where you are and in the battlefield, you can just feel just the immense kind of pressure.
Cool, I think it was obviously cool second time for me, but I think really cool for Brandon, because Brandon also reenacts. He's a reenactor in Civil War battles, so I think that was really a sombering moment for him. He steps in the shoes of a soldier once a year for 3 days, I believe it is, and fully lives their life on a battlefield down here in Florida. So to go up there into that atmosphere, I think, which he done pauses live again. I think that really is a hit home moment for him.
Right. And I know he had mentioned that he had family that fought in the Civil War.
He couldn't find he couldn't find his last name anywhere.
Oh, okay.
I found my last name all over. That's why I joked to him. I said, apparently your family was chicken. All my family died.
No, I mean, I told Brandy, I said, Brandy, you know what's funny? I mean, what would be cool is we find one of our names fully up there, like the whole name. And by the time I said that, I happened to just take 3 more steps and look, and there's your name was up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not only were you all over Gettysburg, but you were all over Pennhurst too. So that's also another funny one. But so, I mean, when we were there, Brandon got a really cool picture from the top of a monument, which I thought was pretty cool. And but just taking a moment and reflecting, obviously, the sacrifices that so many made to get where we are today was very immensely, and it's always going to be overpowering emotionally. But we did get a chance to go to Gettysburgers. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Gettysburgers.
So don't take the recommendations from the waiter. Okay, I'm gonna put this out there, because they told me to get the Getty, like the Getty's Burgers, like that's what the Getty Burger or whatever it was.
It was the Getty's Burger, yep, the special.
Yeah, and this thing is like tri-level burger. Okay, like my stomach is only this big, and this thing is this massive. Okay, more than likely
James set you up on that.
to a point.
I said it. It was good.
Get the Gettysburger. That's good. It's good.
Yeah.
He didn't tell you how big it was.
No.
I didn't recommend the greasy burger wrap, which I didn't get either. I got the apple burger.
But I mean, it was a phenomenal experience, and then we took off from there after lunch, and then we met Haunting Angels, Layla and Andrew, who were a part of that about their crew, and they were invited as well. Really wonderful people. And Haunting Angels, if you ain't following, go give them a follow. And so we met up with them at a little railroad spot. I obviously didn't eat because I didn't need to eat for 3 freaking days after eating that burger. But we did have a drink or two, and then we went over to the location. So go ahead and run us through it.
Apparently, everybody in the bar just knew where we were going. I think because of Brandon.
Thank that one. You can thank that one right there above you, bro.
As we were exiting the bar, everybody was like, "Good luck, good luck, good luck," and like, who the hell are these people?
Brandon handed out flyers as we were leaving. Okay, like that man could talk to anybody, which is obviously appreciated because that's kind of what I do for a living.
It was the cowboy hat. That's what it was.
Dude, you were 6'7" in that cowboy hat. Okay, yeah, that's how. I mean, you couldn't even clear doorways. All right, like you could have collected rain. All right, and then sent it to Ethiopia for drinking water with that damn bucket hat. But no, it was really, I was just jealous because I can't pull off a cowboy hat. I got a bean head, so like it's very narrow, and I look odd. All right, I'm not even going to go into it because I have so many words.
Your head has brains in it. His is full of air. So it can fit because it's swelled out.
So he fits the cowboy hat. Got it. All right.
All that hot air, he can fit that.
Wait, also when we got to the restaurant, we almost hit your car and thought David worked there. That's right. I was standing there. I was having a cigarette, and he gets out, and Yvette goes, "Oh, I thought you worked here." I'm like, "No, actually, I don't."
Yes, you do.
I'm the bar back. What would you like? But
you were the valet.
No, it was really funny though. It was really funny. So we get over to the location, and so they gave us. Because we thought like we were talking prior to. It's like if they give us a tour, I don't want to be a part of it. I just want to go. But they ended up giving us a fairly quick tour.
I would agree. Yeah, it was a lot faster than I was expecting because as soon as she said we were going to give it a tour, I was like, oh, shit. But thankfully, it was pretty quick. I think we spent more time in the shirts trailer than we did on the tour.
Dude, me and Yvette are outside the trailer going like, okay, we're burning daylight. Let's go. And like let's hit these. Let's go.
I'm so pissed, too, because my shirt doesn't even fit. I wear extra large, but apparently that damn thing was the extra large I bought is a medium. Because I put it on, I look like Tommy Boy, fat guy, and a little coat.
No. You look like more like the raspberry girl on the Oompa Loompa.
Oh, jeez. The blueberry, you mean? The blueberry girl?
The blueberry.
So yeah, she wasn't no damn Oompa Loompa.
That shirt was tight on you, boy. That's how it looked.
Man, and I gave the shirts because I bought 2 because I gave them to my wife and daughter because my daughter really wanted to go too. Yeah, but I mean the medium one because like my wife loves crows and Edgar Allan Poe and stuff like that, so I figured it's more fitting because I was there to experience it, so I definitely don't necessarily need a shirt because I did buy the shirt.
That was your peace offering to her because you didn't take her.
Exactly. But now that we know, because our initial thought was we couldn't take anyone younger than 18, but that's not the case. As long as they're with a parent or guardian, they're able, and you sign the waiver for them, they're able to go as well. So that's good information to know if you're looking to go back, because I think that she could have handled it.
That would have been good information to know.
Yeah. But nevertheless, I mean, so hey, Az, what's going on, sis? So when we initially split up, because even though we only had 4 areas of which we could actually investigate: the infirmary, Mayflower, Devon building, and the tunnels. So we kind of split up. We went to the infirmary first. Let me back up. We went to the infirmary first.
Daylight.
Yeah.
Because we had to go group. we didn't have to go to group, but a tour guide had to go with us. So we decided just to knock it out first, go with a group, which I'm glad we did because that place was in horrible shape, full of water. It was just terrible. It was terrible.
Yeah, it really was.
But
it was unsafe.
We got that out of the way.
It was kind of unsafe because it was slick, like all the tile that was in there, and I almost busted.
Some Hey Dude shoes you had on.
Well, I wasn't expecting it. Okay, first off, those things are comfortable, and I got bad feet. Thanks for the judgment, Brandon. I appreciate you. But never wear Hey Dudes after it rains. All right, and especially on an investigation, because as I was done, my socks were actually glued to my feet, and I'm sorry, James can attest to that. They were literally glued to my feet.
That jungle rock.
It was on the preface of like being a really bad situation. I probably should have changed my socks midway through. So we got some shots in there, some photography and everything else. I know there was a few sounds that were heard in there, but nevertheless, we just. Pretty sure called
EVP, but it was still so much water noise and just the buildings in such horrible shape. It really was. There was no point in really investigating. Explore, take some cool pictures, get out of there.
So as we left the infirmary, we went back to the Mayflower. That's where the little headquarters area was for us. And then that's when we decided to kind of split up.
And you heard, before we even split up though, you heard when you heard on footsteps on the stairs before we even started. Correctly.
Yep. So because I was when I walked inside, and then I was like, oh crap, I got to go to the car because I had to take some medicine. So I walked. As I was walking out, I heard footsteps real quick up the stairs. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. We hadn't even started yet, so I had nothing on me. And I was going back out to the vehicle to take some meds. So as I came back in, I let James know. And that's when I knew that more than likely the storm more than likely charged the area. And this was going to be a good night. So we started off, the four of us, James, Brandon, and Brandy and myself, we started off in the Mayflower building, and the Haunting Angels and Layla and Andrew started off in the tunnels. I believe, they started off in the tunnels.
Yeah, the tunnels.
So we went up to the third floor. We started off on the third floor of the Mayflower, and I'll let James take it because this was pretty interesting. The whole chain of events on the third floor is one of the most haunted floors here at that location.
Mm-hmm. Well, interesting, and surprisingly enough, somebody commented on my TikTok today video about the Mayflower on the third floor, and I had the same. I didn't throw up like they said she did. I got nauseous, but I got anxious. We went up the stairs, and as soon as we got to the third floor, my chest tightened up and just almost hard to breathe, just really anxious. I don't know why, and I've had that feeling before. I don't claim to be sensitive or psychic by no means, but my chest just got really tight when we went to the right. And we explored around there, and I don't remember if anything really happened. We were just looking around, but we decided to go back the other way, all the way back the other end. So if you came back up the stairs and went left, there's a hallway, and we went down that hallway, and we decided to set up equipment right there and do EVP session. And we didn't get anything tripwire that I can remember, but we were getting motion sensor on our flux on the left side and the right side, sometimes at the same time, like something was standing over it. Other times it was as it was passing by. Now, one time I did ask it to light up green if you were a man or red if you were a woman, and it was not long after it did light up red as if it was a woman. So then I started getting closer with the recorder, and I walked to the doorway of the room on the right where it went red. And I walked in the room and I said, I'm coming in here with you. And I got the first EVP. It said, go back. Really couldn't tell if it was male or female because it was very pronounced. It didn't want me in there. And y'all were hearing noises down at the y'all's end, even voices, I believe.
Yep, to my right. I was hearing Brandon and I heard voices up to that first room on the right-hand side that we were facing the L shape. I remember that.
Yep. What's up, Hunters? And
Hey, what's going on,
so
man?
then I noticed while I was in that room, the flux motion sensor would never go off again towards me on the red side. It was only going off on the green side. So in my head, I was like, okay, it left this room because I walked in here and went to the other room. So I walked across to the other room. Well, then the green light stopped, and then the red light started again, like it left and went back to the other room. And so then I did an EVP session, and originally we thought it was just noise listening to it. But when I come back home, and now it's on my TikTok, listening to it again, it actually sounds like, because I was standing perfectly still, it sounds like, you bastard can't be quiet, is what I definitely hear the bastard, and I definitely hear the quiet. So I'm believing it's can't be quiet. You bastard can't be quiet is what it's saying while I'm in with it. And so whoever was up there is not happy that we were up there.
No. and when you sent that to me last night to review, I could hear the quiet. I couldn't make out that second part. I definitely heard that first part. I just couldn't. I couldn't make out. And then when you, and then we went into.
It took me. I had like our roommate Gabe listening too. Just that second pair of ears to just try to. Am I hearing what I think I'm hearing? And she confirmed. So that's why I went with what I wrote on the video. And but yeah, it's awesome. The third floor was it was insane.
Yeah, it really was.
We were hearing. Me and Brandy heard noises behind us too in the end of the hallway room as well. Just knocks and bangs and stuff behind us.
Yeah, and then we went as soon as you had caught that, and we were kind of like retrograding out to go back down to the second floor and then the basement. But we went into that room where Brandon and I had heard those voices, and we only asked 2 or 3 questions. And the one question that we asked was, "Do you enjoy people coming up here to visit you?" And it said very quietly, "No."
Nope.
And then James asked the follow-on question, "Would you like us to leave?" And it says, "I do." Very quietly. So we respected it. We left. We're like, all right. So it was a pretty cool experience. And I really wish I had kind of been at the other end of that hallway while Brandon was maybe where I was, so I could have experienced maybe that movement, because I know Brandy was there. But she was also moving in and out of those other bedrooms that were almost at the very end of that hallway, and you were in the middle. So I wish I could have been down there.
Challenge that you sit there and think about now. I should have done this. I should have done. It's when you're in the moment. Kind of sometimes you kind of forget, and you're just in the moment. But then you look back. Well, shit, I try this. But now next time we go, we can definitely. Hey, I want to try this a little differently, or spread out a little more. To see if.
And the time limit too, as well. It was catching up with us quick.
Yeah, that's you got that in the back of your mind too. You get out here at 2-3 o'clock. We got to try to get as much. You want to cover as much ground as possible at the littlest time as you got.
Yeah, and I remember I kept looking at my watch, like how much time do we have left? Because we need to get to the other areas like the Devon Building and the tunnels. But so then we make our way down to the basement. The basement of the Mayflower was phenomenal. I mean, it was the first time we were down there, and we'll get to that part too. But the first time we were down there, we experienced so much in that time, very short amount of time. I think we were only down there for 45 minutes or something like that. It was very short.
Yeah, we went down and we went to. You mentioned you got excited. You saw the King's hallway, but I don't think we went there right away. I think we went to the right to kind of explore the basement. Some, and we did catch an EVP far in, and I don't remember exactly what it was.
I remember exactly what it was, brother.
Yeah, I asked, "Are you down here with us?" And said, "I'm not," or something like that. I'm not, or.
Yeah, so you had asked, "Is there anybody down here with us tonight?" And it goes, "Not me," just like that.
Not me.
Yeah. And so we had sat down in that back area where there's really nothing that's back. There's a few chairs that we had sat in, and we just started kind of asking a few questions. And that was the first question that James asked was, is there anybody here with us? And it goes, not me. And then after every other question, nobody answered. So we're like, okay, maybe it's not me. I'm not sure. So yeah, that was a really cool experience. And then we had kind of picked up. What's up?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, well, because then we had picked up, and then we go from there. We're coming around the corner, and I had the case this time. But so we were coming around the corner, and I literally saw the darkest shadow figure I have ever seen. Because typically, when we see shadow figures, it's very quick. They're moving from left to right, right to left, or whatever the case may be. But I literally watched the shadow figure stick its head out, look at me for a second, and then stick its head back into the doorway into the king's area. And it took me a second because it surprised me, obviously, because I wasn't necessarily expecting that. And that's when I not screamed it, but was like, shadow figure, because after his head popped back into the damn doorway, that's when I was like, shadow figure. So we immediately moved into the king's area.
So that's what you said, because I was way behind y'all walking up. Is that what you said? Shadow person? Or shadow figure?
I said, yeah.
High pitched scream.
What was that, James?
I said, at least he didn't do a high pitched scream.
Yeah, so it's like a shadow figure is what I kind of yelled out a little bit. I was like, hey, shadow figure, So everybody was kind of like, oh, okay, we must go this way now.
Yes.
So we had set up shop in the King's area. So King, for those that don't know, King is this reportedly janitor that worked for Pennhurst for many years. They say he's a bad entity, but nevertheless, we never really experienced it in a negative light down there. Brandon had something go on, and we'll let him explain it. But nevertheless, I didn't feel as if it was negative in any nature down there.
No, I never felt anything negative down there at all.
Yeah, but we caught a lot. And so James had set up his camera facing where we had just came from, and there's a stairway there as well. And when we went quiet, we heard men talking. It was two distinct voices going back and forth, just back and forth. So,
my camera was facing down the King's Tunnel towards the wheelchair and all when that happened. It caught the audio.
Yeah,
it caught the audio because I'm hearing voices, and I take the camera and flip it around real quick. But we done missed because then I made the comment about me and you both I just saw a flashlight, so the camera did not catch it. It was pointing the wrong direction.
No. I think when it really looked like the beam of light, and that was trippy because we thought it was the other team coming down the stairway, and sure enough, James walkied them, and they're still in the tunnels when we had walkied them, and so we thought it was obviously a great experience down there.
And to let the people know, there was no other than me, you, Brandon, Andrew was with the other group. There was no other men on the property. The two volunteers here were both women.
Yeah, and we weren't talking.
No.
Yeah. So we had gone quiet to see what we could hear. You heard footsteps down that area, and then you heard the men talking, and it was for a little, I would say a good 5 to 6 seconds of just back and forth.
Couldn't tell what they were saying, but you could tell it was male, and it was voices.
Yeah, you can actually hear it on the when I was doing the live EVP, because when I'm doing the live EVP, I basically let James or other people talk, and I'm just trying to hear the best I can, trying to catch everything and hear what they don't hear and point it out.
Mm-hmm.
No, we love that too, because that way we know, especially directional, right? So if you're hearing it from one area, we can start moving in that direction to hopefully capture some good experiences.
That time in the tunnel, I don't know which part it was. I mean, what time we was in the tunnel. It was this first or the second time when I came running up behind y'all because I thought somebody was actually coming towards us real quick. I was trying to catch up, like, hey, somebody's coming.
Hold on. I'm sorry. Let me do this. I'm gonna invite Haunting Angels too. My bad. I am so sorry. I'm just sitting here without you all in here too. My apologies. I'm a dumbass. I'm so sorry. So the invite's there. If you wish to join us, please. Would love to have you. And kind of share the experiences too. But the one thing I will say with the Kings area, if you are in the tunnel and you point outwards, you're more than likely going to capture something, whether it be footsteps.
I think my camera was pointed that direction, but you saw a ball of light too.
I did.
Somewhere out.
Yeah, and was that motion sensor, bro? Remember, like we had stuck that motion sensor out there prior to coming back into the tunnels, and it was right at that motion sensor, and so that's where I was like, oh, okay, if that's pretty odd, because I personally I've never seen that. I've never seen a ball of light over a piece of equipment. It's almost like it was trying to interact with it, because it wasn't.
To me, I mean, you got people that dispute left and right, but to me, that's a true orb.
Yeah,
is a ball of light like that. That's a true orb.
Because at first I had thought maybe it was a lightning bug because they were all over the place up there, but this thing was bigger than what a lightning bug would have been. It wasn't small.
We didn't see it any other time either.
Right.
Do this, David. Let me click off because it's saying on the camera part, I can only join on audio because I wasn't a guest.
Oh, never mind that. Okay, yeah.
Did it let me?
Yeah, I hear.
I hear your audio, Sierra.
Yeah, I see the audio too.
I don't know how to do video.
All right, so just click on your actual thumbnail, and then you should see it right there, top.
Oh, I don't have live access.
What did you do?
Don't have 1,000 followers.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's probably it too. On the same as.
That's right. Okay. Yeah, that's probably right. Okay, so we'll stick with that. So what's going on?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Just been listening to y'all.
Yeah, we're kind of funny. We're only kind of funny. We're
just
not
a
even
little bit. If any of the audio voice messages got out, we'd all be canceled.
There's a good chance of that.
It was amazing.
Yeah, there's definitely a good chance. Somebody reported it somewhere. I guarantee it.
Oh yeah, and the whole thing about we can't listen to Brandon's voice messages in public. That's because we stopped at an antique shop, and I mean the voice messages were just one after another. We'd get like 10, and Yvette decides to play them in public, and the looks that we got, we had to leave.
Never tell me that you're in public and you're going to hit live audio, so that's where I'm gonna call you out big time, embarrass you.
Yeah, or when Yvette lost me and he's on the voice messages going, Sierra,
just follow my voice.
Follow the sound of my voice.
Yeah.
So Yvette brought up. I know you guys saw the shadow figure in the tunnels.
Mm-hmm.
Have you hadn't gotten a chance to go through your evidence and see if you caught it or not?
Still going through it. I haven't got to that part yet. I'm going to have to really zoom in on it. It's a new camera. But because we were almost at the bend where you could get to the end of the tunnel. We could see the end of it. We had some equipment set up that way. And she was facing where we had come in at, where that weird alien statue thing was.
That was creepy.
Yeah, in the dark. That's where she kept seeing it poke its head out.
And I believe it, because again, it likes to hide itself within items.
Oh, yeah.
So in the tunnels, so it was poking its head out of the other entranceway? That had the barrel and all?
Yeah, remember the thing you kept running into when we left the case, or I left the case?
Yeah, the figure. Yeah. The figure right there. Mm-hmm. So, and that was that door, the entrance we went under the Devon Hall with all the mannequins. Okay. Nice. Okay.
So it kind of adds up, honestly.
Yeah.
Especially to the sounds that we were hearing down there too. Mm-hmm. So it literally matches up. Because I had forgotten that you all caught or saw a shadow person or shadow figure in the tunnels. I had forgotten that. So that's good to know. And like, as soon as you see it, I mean, please share it. Would love to see it.
Absolutely.
So you saw the whole body. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, like I didn't see the whole body. It was just the head when I saw the shadow figure or the shadow person back down. Say again.
I said it wasn't Brandon's head.
Hi.
Could you imagine that? That's that shadow figure with the cowboy hat on, just sticking it out. But so we rejoined. So we rejoined back, kind of in the Mayflower. After that, we kind of shared the experience of what we saw. And we went next. We went down.
No, we went back to the second floor of the Mayflower.
Well, that was wait. Yeah, okay. Run me through that.
We took a break because Brandon got emotional.
Let's go back then. Yeah, because I had invited back. So going back to the actual basement in the Mayflower, Brandon had an experience where he was overwhelmed with sadness. So Brandon, why don't you go ahead and talk about that for a little bit?
Yeah, we was all just standing down there, and when we got down there, I just leaned up against the wall, just listening to y'all talk back and forth, trying to communicate and see if anything had come up. And I think where the part James asked, was anybody down here, I heard a male voice that says, "Help me." And I threw my hand up and like I caught something, trying to like signal to y'all that I caught something. And I replied back, "Help me? How?" And that's when I just started feeling so much pressure building on me. It's like somebody was bear hugging me. And I felt the depression. I just broke down because I felt that much depression of that person, whatever, if it was a male or female, but I felt every depressed moments of that person. And it just broke me down. And I know y'all wanted to get me out, but I want to know, how can we help him? Because he asked for help. But y'all did the right thing. Y'all did pull me out, because if y'all didn't, they ain't no telling what would be the next level of that situation.
I mean, I just wanted more camera footage.
Yeah, James, like a real friend, put the camera in your face.
Yeah, somebody Brandy's like, he just threw the camera in your face.
Yeah, and here I am. Let's go, bud. Let's get out of here. Let's go.
Real friend. James is a real friend.
I didn't even remember. I don't even remember, David, when you asked me, let's go. We need to get you out, because I don't even know where I was or what was going on at the time. All I felt was so much depression.
Yeah.
That's when I actually broke down. I mean, y'all said I broke down and crying, and when I watched that video again, I was like, holy crap, I did started breaking down and crying.
You don't even really remember that?
I don't remember little parts of it. The more I stayed down there, the more it was fading away of more depression.
Okay. So it was almost like something else took over you because you don't even remember you reacting that way.
No, I don't even remember. I was like, did I just like got down on my hands and on my knees and just bend over?
I think it was during our War Party podcast that somebody asked if you were an empath, and I was like, never said anything before, but thinking about it, at Hamilton, you started crying. You didn't know why,
right? Because that was twice. Because I broke. What did I break down at the jail? Yeah, the jail. Was it the jail I broke down?
Yeah.
Doing the jail.
You were crying for no reason. You didn't show emotion, but you were saying you kept saying you were crying, but you didn't know why.
Inside the goggles, I had like tears coming out of my eye, filling up with. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks. I had to wear those next. Appreciate that.
I was just washing them out, man. Come on.
No, I mean, like I said, I appreciate it. We were sweating. It was hot in there. But no, I mean, that's a very intense experience. I mean, especially when you have presence, obviously infiltrating in some manner, right? So, because those and Yvette can obviously tell me otherwise, but typically when you open yourself up like that, especially like how. or anything like that, they're more than welcome. You're welcoming it to a point to try to help, right?
Yeah, because that's all I did. I asked is like, how help you how, and then that's when it started kicking in.
Yeah. So, but in that area though, there's no telling what happened in the Mayflower basement. There's no history of it, because for all we know,
they used it going back and forth.
Type of things could have happened.
Yeah, because she said they used it them tunnels back and forth when it snowed. And it was easy processing getting from one building to the other quicker than sitting there walking in 6 foot of snow.
Yeah. Yep. No, and again, and especially if people that go there and are investigating, and you've just got to remember it's a space to investigate. Is it creepy looking? Absolutely.
Yep.
And, if you go in there just knowing that you're investigating a space, it's a lot easier to kind of accept what you're seeing and or hearing or anything like that. There are things that are going to startle you. I mean, things that happen and everything else. But like Brandon in that scenario, that's why I'm like, well, I don't want that shit to happen to me. Let's go, dude. Like, what are you doing?
Sticking a camera in my face.
Why is there two people doing this now? Yeah, I know. James is like, you all right, bro? You good?
Tell me more. Tell me more about it. I got you right here.
Cry into the camera. Make sure I got the shot.
You want some Taco Bell? Huh? You want it?
You want some more Wendy's chicken nuggets? Hot spicy?
No. What the hell? You want some more of that ghost pepper?
Yeah.
That is
so Brandon broke down twice on this investigation. All right. Once with Wendy's chicken nuggets with the hottest pepper, and at Pennhurst. So
no, that was uncalled for, man. I'm trying to get it to you, not backfire on me. Because I told the cashier, I said, the worker, I said, hey, put some of that ghost pepper on his sandwich. It'd be all right. It's going to be funny. Yeah.
Oh, no, trust me, it was funny. It was very funny. It was, Brandon, I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I had not laughed like that in quite some time, especially when you told me it was meant for me. So,
yeah, that was
appreciate that.
Meant for you, and it backfired.
Yeah, I laughed twice. All right. So, but no, nevertheless, we did go back up to the second floor of the Mayflower, and James, want to kind of tell us about the second floor?
Yeah. Well, we regrouped so Brandon could dry his tears and all, and get collective, and so then we decided to go to the second floor because the girls were over. They just went in the tunnels. I think they moved.
Girls and one guy.
But we have all guys, one girl, and y'all have all girls,
one guy.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Y'all didn't want to let him join us.
Have Brandy go with the girls and Andrew come with us.
Right.
Next time.
Didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Then you have two Sasquatches.
And now that's something kind of cool too, because he was, he was a skeptic. Yep. I mean, he believed that from some experiences prior at Trans-Allegheny and stuff, but he was still a full skeptic.
Yeah, he wants the full evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, we got our regrouped, got collective, and then went to the second floor. And the second floor was more of a large common area, I guess. The rooms were really open, and I mean there were some wall dividers and stuff like that, but it was very large open rooms. Kind of a weird layout. But we started hearing hissing. And we're like, what the heck is that? This hissing. And, just lo and behold, there's a buzzard sitting on one of the walls. And so I got some good video of that, too, I need to post. Brandon freaking out to the buzzard. He goes and looks at it real close and goes, oh, hell no! And turns, spins around, and runs out.
Brandy called it a headless.
Yeah, because it was up there. The way it was up there asleep. And when they sleep, they tuck their head underneath their wing. And it makes and the way he was sitting, or it was sitting, so I put it that way because I don't know if it's a he or she.
Yeah, don't misgender the bird.
Listen here, Shorty.
had some feelings.
Anyway, the bird.
It looked like it was a hairless bird.
Yeah, that thing was hissing at us and patting his feet against the.
It was doing the river dance.
Yep.
I didn't know buzzards hissed.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they hiss like a possum.
Yes, bounced its feet, spread its wings. I was waiting for it to fly at us, but it didn't.
Me too. I want to caught that. I mean, imagine that.
Well, that's why I kept the camera rolling. I was like, I'm going to keep it rolling just in case something happens, because we definitely need this on film. And
yeah. So we did a few EVP sessions back there too.
Yeah, we didn't really get anything back there. I mean, with the bird making its noises and all.
Well, we caught the bangs. Remember when I did the EVP session? We caught the bangs.
We did get bangs. Yeah, we did get some bangs. We went back. We left that room and went all the way to the back. And I don't think. And you did an EVP set. You were asking questions, but I don't believe we caught anything.
No.
We did get some cool photos of you in green light, though.
Yeah.
So
that's badass.
Yeah,
that's worth the trip right there.
Exactly. Brandon or David in the moment.
Yep.
But so we pretty much wrapped up the second floor, and then that's when we decided to switch up. They were out of the tunnels, and we decided to go to the tunnels.
Yeah.
And so we went back down again, grabbed some gear. Some gear was left behind. And
sorry.
So, and then while Brandon and Brandy were setting up, which I think they were getting some REM pod hits, Brandon, you could, oh shit, he went pause again. He could bring in, tell us about that. As me and David were walking back out, I do remember this. You could hear the REM pod going off and Brandon asking questions, but there's water down there in the tunnels, and me and David both heard sound like somebody walking in the water behind us, and we turned and like, oh hell no!
We did it at the same time because like you turn and I turn at the same time. I'm like, okay, it wasn't just me, So it literally sounded like shoes hitting the water and splashing while walking. So yeah, that was pretty cool experience, especially when somebody's there to experience it with you, and it just validates what you've heard. So so we go back, get the case.
We come back and we got back down there, and we were hearing stuff all throughout that tunnel.
I got poked down there. Remember that?
Yeah, you did. You got poked on the shoulder on the way back in. Yeah, on the way back in. We verified it wasn't water because your shoulder and all was dry. And so we got back down at the end where Brandon and Brandy were. And I guess when we showed up, whatever experiences they were having kind of calmed down. You want to enlighten us on that, Brandon?
Oh, when y'all went to go back and get the equipment that that somebody left behind.
So we're just going to keep bringing that up, huh? Like this is like the 9th time. This is the 9th time. Okay, Sasquatch. All right.
Yeah, we were sitting there and asking a bunch of questions, and the REM pod was going off, and we'll tell it to stop, and it was stopping on the command. And I think we tried to get a letter out of it. On the name, and y'all started. You started hearing footsteps, and by the time we started asking more questions, it completely quit because y'all showed up.
No, it's us.
That's right.
It's our fault.
Yeah, so blame it on us.
It always is.
It's always James' fault.
Yeah.
Because it was like, man, we was getting a bunch of hits, and now y'all show up, and it's dead as a door. I mean,
what happens is you have people down there wondering why you're so damn tall. All right, and why you aren't like out there hunting and gathering the food for the entire colony. That's what they're friggin' wondering. Okay. But yeah, no, we show up and it goes silent, like silent.
Brandon,
what's that?
Didn't you verify like if it was a boy or girl and their age?
Yes, I'm trying to remember.
I thought you said 11.
Yeah, the age 11. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a girl.
So sad.
Yeah, we didn't stay down there that long because it was just it was dead.
Yeah, it dropped off. I mean, we hit it hard too, and we weren't getting anything.
Yeah.
We got that tripwire, all that. Nothing. I think tripwire went off one time, and I didn't even see. I think David called it.
It went back down towards that little tractor toy or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
right.
where it went off.
Yeah, because I had the REM pod on top inside of the dumpster, the little dumpster, the yellow dumpster truck that you brought, James. I had it sitting in there, and that's when it was just like when I put it down and two steps back, it started going off quick. And I was like, if you're here, stop. If that's you, make it, and it stopped. I said, you can like that toy, don't you? And it started going off. Boom, 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 boom.
Wow.
Dang.
And that's when y'all was gone, and Brandy was like, "Wow, it just
I'm trying to remember. I had my camera. I left my camera set up. It may have been recording all that. I'll have to go back and look at the footage. But I think I left it recording when we walked away.
Well, yeah, you had waited because I was like, hey, I'll go back with you.
Came out, everything started popping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. No, I mean, because like the basement for us, I know for Haunting Angels and the rest of their crew, it was like popping. Like they were getting a lot down there. And you want to explain that a little bit, Sierra?
Yeah, so we were in the Mayflower basement, and we had REM pod go off. We had cat balls that went off on the little bed where all the toys were. We have an EVP, and it sounds really similar to one that you guys caught. It was come back or go back. The back is so clear.
Oh, wow.
And we were doing a silent EVP down there.
I'd be interested if it says the same thing, go back.
Yeah. Can you share that with us by chance?
Yeah,
when we get off here? Because I'd like to hear that too. So, but yeah, I mean, the girls were getting, and Andrew, the girls were getting a lot of activity down there where we weren't. So it just kind of goes to show you, like, not every group is going to get the same experience going into every other building.
To me, other than the footsteps that me and you heard, the tunnels were disappointing to me.
Yeah.
I mean, me and you, other than the footsteps, we didn't really experience anything.
Really? We had like some audible like whispers out loud. I really hope the camera caught them.
Off in the distance, we heard a few things, but it wasn't nothing like the basement. I mean, the basement was just mind blowing.
Mm-hmm.
It was popping the entire time. Like it didn't go at least, I would say, a minute or two before we heard something else. A voice, footstep. Or something happening. Yeah. So, I mean, then we went back, when we regrouped again, and then I think the girls and Andrew went into the Mayflower, and we went to the Devon building.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And so the Devon building, they start, and what I understand what they're doing, they're starting to kind of set up for Halloween season and everything else, but it was some of the creepiest things, like mannequins that I've ever seen. But it was a really cool experience. But then you go all the way in the back, and there's like 50 tables set up with cloth on it.
Nick,
and I know because Nick Groff
we're coming here today. And apparently I just saw a post on his wife's Facebook that they're looking for somebody that was in the audience that caught video of a mannequin that was there, and there was a mannequin there in the room, if I remember right.
There was the mannequins all up down the hallway.
Moving?
They caught the video.
Yeah, I definitely want to see that.
Well, I know in that main room, we had been down in the basement of the Devon building, and if we were going to go leave, and Yvette left her phone, so her and Layla went down, and me and Andrew stayed in the bar area, and I wasn't rolling because I'm just waiting on them. We're running out of time. And I was hearing taps on the bottles and on the bar in the back. So even over there was stuff going on.
I mean, the sight for the Devon building was the fan.
That fan was brilliant.
Yeah, that fan was amazing.
On the back side of that wall of the stage.
Yeah. Me and James and Brandy sat there for a good 5 minutes, and we're just sitting there like, oh, thank God. Because in middle Pennsylvania, I don't know if they've ever heard of wind, but they need to kind of experience it for a first time. So we went down into the basement of the Devon building, and I was trying to find Candyland. Finally found it.
Oh my God! I'm so glad it's not just us.
He
Could not
found
find
it.
it.
I didn't even
Before you go to that part, David, back it up to where you remember all the mannequins was all zigzagging in the hallway with the sheets over them.
Well, this is where it leads to, brother.
That's
getting there.
So I'm in Candyland. I was live on TikTok when this was happening. I'm in Candyland, and all I hear is like James yell out, "Oh hell no!" You know what I mean? Because it was a room of mannequins. I'm talking well over 100 mannequins with white sheets going down it. And so I'm like, I'm kind of, and Brandon goes back there and says, "Oh hell no!" You know, and then. I'm like, what is going on out here? So I leave Candyland and I walk back towards them. And James, I'll let you kind of take over and what you experienced.
So I bring up about that, and then Brandon says something about if any one of them moves, I'm gonna shit myself and run. And then you hear David
my britches and I'm a hauling ass because
David walk up, and about that time I caught it on audio. David caught it on his live, and I heard it with my ears. But I heard a man go, "You lie!"
Yeah,
and I turn around and I say, "Did somebody just say you lie?" And everybody's like, no. Yeah. So I think it was in correlation to what Brandon was saying. But
yeah, it was correlating what I was saying because, and after you said that and everything, we started walking in there. I was taking the K2, and there were some mannequins I wasn't getting no hits. And there was like 3 or 4 I was actually getting hits.
Well, I remember that. And what I want to say is the only reason I caught it on my live is because I had a microphone, one on me and one on James, and we were about maybe 50 feet away from each other when you heard that, and it still picked it up on the microphone, and I captured it on my live and I sent it over. So it goes back to the validation aspect of what we experience, and for those that want to do it the right way. So whenever I investigate with a team or anything like that, I'm not this whole flashy screaming, "Oh my God, what was that?" running down the hallway. You got to do it the right way.
What you say, James?
I say he's not a Sierra.
Excuse you. Listen, y'all turned out the lights in the tunnel, and I wasn't anticipating it. Okay. One time.
It happened one time. And
Oh my God.
One time at hunting camp.
But personally, I want to investigate with people that do it the right way, and they're there for the genuine reasons. And I think that anybody that investigates in the paranormal field should be doing the same thing. Because what you watch on TV is not what happens in real life. Because again, it's like real flashy, and because again, people like to be scared. I get that. I truly get that. But if you're really wanting to look for the paranormal and truly understand it, I highly suggest following any actual and paranormal investigators that do that. But so after we caught that, we went all the way back, and then we obviously linked up to where the tunnels met the Devon building, and that kind of validates what we had experienced, and it aligns with the Honey Angels and their experience down there as well by hearing all that. So I love that. And then we move back and we go up to the third floor. We immediately hit the third because we were going to work our way down. So
y'all went on because I went exploring the rest, because y'all went down before me, and then I went exploring the rest of the basement area. Which
we were waiting for you.
Yeah, y'all were waiting for me.
Yeah. Because we all went up together. And we immediately went up there, and I wanted to go up there because I actually wanted to hear something whistle at me. And so the Devon building is actually known on that floor for having whistling, like somebody whistling and or banging on the metal cabinets that are up there. So again, I was still on my live, and I basically said, okay, I'm going to whistle. And then I start whistling, and you hear a whistle over mine. And I immediately stop. I'm like, I just heard that whistle. And then you said there was movement over here. And because you were on the other side of the wall, because you had the microphone on, so I could hear you loud and clear. And I'm like, oh, okay, he's on the other. But yeah, there was movement all over that third floor, but then it died. like nothing after
Yeah,
that.
stop. Yeah.
So
as we wandered that whole floor and nothing after you're whistling that noise, it just abruptly stopped.
Yeah. So then we went down to the second floor right after that.
Yeah. And that's eerie. I think it was the second floor. You had rooms with just old mattresses and soiled pillows that were original to the building.
And that morgue door, remember?
The morgue door was cool. And I found out I think you were with me when I was talking to the security lady, Michelle, that came from the hospital building that's partially torn down now. They were able to save that door, and they're going to put it up on display somewhere.
Yeah, I asked them if it was for purchase. They said no.
Yeah.
You tried.
I tried, okay?
Yeah.
I was going to give it to Yvette as a Christmas gift and say, here you go.
She'd love
You're not
it.
going to keep it in my house. I ain't bringing that shit in my house. Yeah, I'm just saying, Yvette, it's for you.
She would put it in the she shed.
Yeah, exactly. So we go down to the second floor. Like that was weird in itself, but we didn't, to my knowledge, I don't remember getting anything or remember getting anything there. So after that, we all collectively meet back up at HQ.
Yep.
And we go back down to the basement. So it was you and I that went back down to the basement at first because Brandon.
Yeah, we kidnapped Brandon and took him to the third floor.
Yeah.
They try to use me as a trigger object.
No, you're bait. It's not a trigger object. You're bait.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although he made them mad. We had REM pod activity, like a full-on grab that would not let go. He comes in there, switches out the REM pod, and it dies and doesn't do anything. I'm like, Brandon, get out of here.
Why'd you take my toy?
Yeah. Heifer.
It was right. David, you remember the chair that you were sitting in?
Yeah.
All the way down to the right side of that room. That's where we was. And
okay.
We was getting all them hits down there. Even Yvette was getting, she put a cat ball on the mattress, and by the time she put it down there, it was going off.
Dude, that K2 was hitting on the chair with me. You remember that? Like, it was just leaving it there. And it's like right next to me. So,
then when I walk up to you, it stops.
Yeah. Yeah,
just
maybe
so
it's you.
Knows all our phones are airplane, so it's not like our phones are triggering the K2s.
Yeah, I put mine in airplane mode because I wasn't going to go live right off the bat. So I wanted to wait a little bit. So all of us put it in airplane mode so it wouldn't mess with the equipment. So thank you for pointing that out. I appreciate that. But yeah, it was going off like left and right. And then as soon as I pick it up, it stopped and put it back down. It bumped twice and then it was done.
Yeah, I told Sierra, I was like, let's change that REM pod because this thing is like going off crazy. And I was like, swap it out just to make sure if it's just a malfunction of the REM pod. No, it wasn't. It went off. The other one went off a couple times, but not like the other one did.
Yeah, and the one that went off like crazy was doing nothing all night, and it was doing nothing for 15 minutes. It went off, and then you switched it, and it didn't like you.
It's me. Hi. I'm the private. It's me. But no, so James and I went back down to the basement because we were like, let's go see if we can't re-experience what we had experienced initially. So I will preface this by saying the first time we went down there, a lot more popping. I mean, everything was going on when we were first down there. And then when me and James went down there again, it seemed to have quieted down a little bit. But we had put out some items out there, the motion sensor. We had put out a few other things. So we're going through the motions and setting up everything. And then, so nothing really happened, but James did capture a freaking awesome photo of me. Not gonna lie, I'll share it on my Instagram page. But so it was really a really cool experience being down there. But then we decided to do a Delco session. So we called Yvette to come down and do the Delco session. I was live on TikTok at this point, and not gonna lie, when Yvette first came down that stairs, I jumped a little. I ain't gonna lie, you know. She's like 4'11". It weighs 11 pounds, okay? And like coming down the stairs, you can't hear her, all right? But no, actually, it was just me talking, and that's probably why I couldn't hear her. So, but I was explaining what we were experiencing and what we were going to be doing through the Delco session and setting up Yvette to do that. So she agreed to do it, and she is a sensitive, and so we set her up, and it was actually real.
Agree. I volunteered her to do it. I said, Yvette, you're doing it.
Oh, you know what? We forgot the best part about me being scratched, but I'll go back to that. But I'd like to get to that Delco. What's that? What'd you say?
I said you can tie that into this conversation you're having.
Yeah, I will. That's why I was doing. You said what I was going to do that. So we started doing. I'm going to let Sierra kind of explain that since Yvette's now currently on the stream with us. But so we set her up with a Delco session, and those that don't know, basically what you're in an SD session, but with Delco goggles on. And you're using a spirit box, what could be any version of it, SP7 Pros, 11s, whatever you have, that's able to play that. So we set her up, and then, God, why am I brain farting the name of the line? What's the line, James?
Tripwire.
Tripwire, thank you. We put the tripwire around her, and we had some pretty cool experiences with that. So I'll let both Sierra and James kind of explain that.
Yeah, and Yvette, I know she's not on here, but she felt like it was just random and it didn't make any sense. But I want to say 98, 99% of it made sense. Mm-hmm. What she said, it was crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like some of it was spirits conversating with each other. Mm-hmm. And then other 90% of it was them conversating with us.
Yeah.
So... But yeah, we laid the tripwire around completely around her. We did the motion sensor in front of her, which it never went off. Then we put the Delco goggles on her, which all she can see is red. And it's theory is it heightens sensitivity because it's based off the Gansfield effect the CIA used back in the 50s and 60s. Then she's got a spirit box listening headphone on her headphones, so all she hears is white noise. And I run it in AM, and out there's nothing. There's no radio. And I do AM in reverse. And so she starts automatically talking, and she said all our names and different things. And then she saw a black mass in one eye, mm-hmm. like something blocked out the red light. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then the light went off. The tripwire where that happened went off when she experienced that.
Yes. When that happened, yeah. Every time we had a direct answer to our question, the tripwire would completely light up all the way around her. She responded,
that was amazing.
Which was pretty wild.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and we had a cat ball.
Oh, go ahead, Sierra.
I was going to say we had like a cat ball off to her right, and I laid out a music box behind us facing the other side of the basement, and that was and that was pretty cool because she kept going behind you, and then the music box went off behind us.
Yeah, he's coming.
And that was actually pointing back to King's area.
Yeah.
Yep. And as soon as we turn around to film it, it stops.
Yep.
You can hear it in our audio. You can hear it going off, but as soon as we turn around to film it, it's like, nope, not today.
I'm shy.
Yeah, I'm a little gun shy. But then there was this one part where, backing up. No, go ahead.
What are you doing, Junior?
One of the interesting things was, I'm gonna let you describe your experience, but one of the things that was interesting, the tour guide said that one of the punishments was if they bit somebody, they got their teeth removed. Well, during the vet session, a woman came through talking about she was lonely, and then she was sad she was missing her teeth. And I can't remember if she said the fact that they took her teeth or she was missing her teeth. But I asked her, did you bite somebody? And they took the teeth, and she said yes. So that was pretty cool from what the tour guide said to what Yvette responded with. It was pretty wild.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool experience. So
not as cool as your bathroom break.
What's that?
Peeping Tom.
I said not as cool as your bathroom break.
That's what I was getting into, Brandon. All right,
Brandon. God, you're still the thunder.
He's just, you know what? Like, you're Thor's arch nemesis, bro. No, but no. So, like, when we were in the tunnels, I had to use the restroom really, really bad. So I walked back and used the restroom, and there's a porta johns that are literally right outside of the tunnels. No, I was in the Devon building. Sorry, I was in the Devon building. So I walked out of the Devon building.
Waiting on Slowpoke James.
Yeah, because he was, exploring.
I was exploring.
Like he was Dora without the map. Okay.
Squirrel.
So I go utilize the restroom, and I had my flashlight up under my armpit, and I'm utilizing the facilities, and then all of a sudden I'm like, my flashlight is really hot. I'm like, my flashlight doesn't get this hot. It's a hunting flashlight. So I'm like, take the flashlight out, I put it in my pocket, and it's still burning. And so I walked back towards the Devon building, and Brandy was standing outside, and I said, do you mind looking? Like, I don't know what's going on. It's still burning. And so she looked at it. When she first looked at it, there was only 2 scratch marks. But then as she was talking, the third one formed underneath my armpit. So that was like, all right, cool. That's a pretty cool experience. But, way to come at me when I'm in the most vulnerable state. So I truly appreciate that. So we're doing the Delco session.
You got some pretty hips.
It's the ears that get me.
I just want to stroke them goatee.
But anyway, we're in the Delco session. Everybody, focus, recenter. Okay, Sierra, talking
James.
to you.
James.
But no, it's. I know it's him, but I need your help. Is what I'm saying.
Okay. James, get it together.
So we're in the Delco session, and Yvette picked up like scratch, and then it says Dave, and then there was some laughter, a woman laughing, and she asked again, or we asked, why did you do that? And the spirit said funny. And my response to it was funny. I truly appreciate that. Thanks for doing that. And then, kind of moving on. But
they also
not wanting
liked your beard too.
They love the beard. They love that. They mentioned that. Like, I love my beard. They loved it too. Okay. Mm-hmm. The crazier part is, James remembers this, when we did an EVP session on the 2nd floor of the Mayflower, I asked, do you like beards?
Yeah.
And boom. And then we get it in the Delco session.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it was all kind of lining up. And so it kind of, again, it goes back to validating everything that we experienced there. And even in that Delco session that Yvette did, I mean, it was like Yvette didn't know about that question in the EVP session. And it was all of a sudden beard. So it was like, oh, there it is, and then the lights light up. So it was just one of those things where, we don't tell each other everything, because in the event that we do a Delco session or something like that, we want to make sure, again, that they're capturing exactly what we're asking. And if something happens to another group, maybe they can answer that within that session. And then it only validates what we experienced.
And that's a perfect example, because it's like you getting scratched. We talked about it, I think, outside the Devon building. I don't remember if we talked about it at HQ with them or not, but I think we did.
I think you did.
But either way, we never asked the question when we were down there doing the Delco. We never brought that up. Nope. She brought that up. Mm-hmm. I mean, just right off random, I scratched Dave or David, funny. We never brought that up. So that's really cool on the validation, of the experience you had.
Well, and she also said the word Delco.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, that's right. She did remember that. Yeah, I remember that now. Yep. Yeah. So, I mean, just that whole experience. I've only done one Delco session, and I can tell you, it is pretty intense.
She says, oh, shit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I did it at the old Hamilton, and the last night, me and James were there. We caught some pretty cool experiences with that Delco.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I did Delco in Lynchburg. Oh, I was just going to say, I did, me and Lola both went under, did she go under Delco, James, or was it just me? I know we did Estes.
I think she did Delco.
We were in two different.
She did one of the other while you did the Delco, yeah.
Yeah, we were in two different cells in the Lynchburg jail, and I felt the back of my shirt get pulled in Delco. So you get some good stuff.
The only thing she got was when I closed the cell door, she cussed at me. Mm-hmm. She didn't know I closed the door, but the spirit apparently didn't like me shutting the door.
Yeah. Look what you did.
Yeah,
okay.
I shut the door and she went F you, and I was like, okay. So I opened the door.
Oh my gosh. But no, I mean, like I said, after that Delco session, we all kind of packed up because it was time to go. Mm-hmm. And like what I really wish, I mean, like I loved our experience there, but I really truly wish it was just a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I get it. That the people there, they want to go home too. I truly get that.
But for what your money you're paying for, though, you really wish it was 10 to 12 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
full hours
just to get a full run.
Now,
I mean, because
more of it.
We both had an experience. Y'all were packing up. Brandy was in the car asleep. Y'all were still in HQ packing. We'd done been back and forth, but I set my book bag on the table right outside there in that hallway on the first floor, and Yvette had some her gear on the chair, and we were talking for a second, and I saw something white shoot by the doorway.
It wasn't me.
Just out of my mind, right by the doorway. And we both heard the footsteps. She didn't see anything because she was looking down, but she heard the footsteps too, and it was fast. And I was like, was that Jackie? And she's like, I don't know. I just heard the footsteps. So I walked outside and looked, and there was nobody out there. And I was like, okay, that wasn't Jackie. I don't know what that was, but it was fast.
Yeah.
Mothman.
You're in the area. I mean, shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, honestly, like we get back in the vehicle, and I know that Haunting Angels and Yvette and Sierra, they all kind of stayed in the hotel for the night, but we decided to drive all the way back.
4 hours.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about getting a hotel until somebody said, I got to be back home Saturday.
Hey, look, it was important.
Wednesday.
But nevertheless, like the funnier part about this is that James started out driving, right? Brandy's knocked out. Like she thinks she's still in Pennhurst when we start driving.
Oh my God.
Okay. That's how knocked out she is. But I'm supposed to stay up because Brandon fell asleep like almost immediately. And I'm supposed to be staying up, keeping James awake. And I'm in the back just kind of BSing with him. Then all of a sudden I wake up and he's still driving. And I'm like, oh, my bad, dude. I'm supposed to be keeping you up, And so we stopped at this one coffee shop. This was like, 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning. We stopped at this our gas station. And the dude that's running the counter is hovering over us while we're making coffee. I'm like, I know how to work a Keurig. Okay, I got one at home. That's what you got here. No, he did not trust us at all. He was like looking at it. He's hovering over James. James is like, bro, what you doing, man?
He swears up and down we was going to steal something out of there.
Yeah. So, but anyway, we get back in the car and I'm still drinking the coffee and everything. We're going back. I still doze off. And everybody else falls asleep before James is just sitting there like, okay, guys, it's time to switch out. And we get to a pilot and Brandon finally takes over and starts driving. And
I keep asking James, you want me to drive? Because I keep waking up to every time he runs over to the edge of the road. James, you want me to drive? No, I got it. I'm good.
You know what they call that, right? The wake up. It's the wake up line.
You want me to drive?
It's the wake up line. Okay, it woke him up. He's good. He's good, folks. Don't worry about that guy. But yeah, we make it back to your place. What it was like 8 o'clock, roughly 7:30.
Was that 8? Was it 8? 7,
yeah, 6 or 7. I think it was late because I didn't get home till 10:15.
Yeah, so
it was around about 6 something because it was like 8 when I got home. Because we even changed the time.
My GPS originally said 5:36, but somebody had to take bathroom breaks every 30 fucking minutes.
Look, everybody in that car was over 40. All right, you never pass up an opportunity to use the facilities.
What are y'all talking about? I'm the only one that spoke up because y'all going to sit there. I'm glad you called it because I had to go too.
We want to be in the car with y'all next time.
You're more than welcome.
That's what Sierra. That's when I jumped out after we ate up there and we met each other. That's when I jumped in the truck with y'all.
Oh, I thought you were kidnapped. Is what you said.
I was kidnapped.
And what's really funny is right after we left the restaurant, Yvette almost pulled out into traffic and we almost killed Brandon.
You drove 14 hours just to be staying at Pennhurst, huh?
Yeah,
that's what happened.
Pretty much.
Is that your whole goal there, Brandon?
That's right.
So yeah, we get back, and I'm not gonna lie. Like Monday and Tuesday, I was absolutely drained. Like it was just a paranormal hangover, if you will, whatever you want to call it. Because when you put yourself into those, what's up?
I said I was debating calling out Monday, but I didn't.
No, I didn't either. I worked from home on Monday, so I'm like, I'm not burning the PTO day just to not work from home.
I'm on Mondays.
Yeah, dude. So, but no, I mean, honestly, that was our experience at Pennhurst, and what I'm going to do right after this is I'm going to share it to James so he can share it on his YouTube channel. So again, Cross the Line Paranormal. If you're not following Haunting Angels, highly suggest it. Let's get them up there because you're going to start seeing a lot more of us with these hunts and everything else. But we're taking a little break because, not going to lie, James has been on the road for the last 16 years doing this. So
hey, not too much. You got to take us to Tifton.
Yeah, you bet. It was a long day.
Tifton Theater's next.
Yep, Tifton Theater on October 12th, you said?
We're September
7th.
September what?
September 7th.
Oh, September 7th?
Yeah.
It's
October
exclusive
12th is
Haunting Angels tour.
Yeah. I'll be there.
I'm all confused. All right. I'm all confused because I'm like, which one am I going to? Let's start there.
No, David, you need to set us up down there in St. Augustine.
September 7th is the actual investigation.
September 7th.
So that's going to be the one you want to get to. Yes.
Yeah, that's the Haunting
7.
Angels Warrior Cross the Line Extravaganza.
Okay. I was so confused. I ain't gonna lie to you. All right,
we have that effect on people.
So many dates. Okay,
September
I'm like coming back saying, "Hey, don't worry," because James initially gave me October 5th, 19th, and something else. I'm like, okay, and 12th was not mentioned. Okay, and then all of a sudden now it's September 7th. Get your shit together, all right? Because I know you were an adult here. All right, I got adult shit.
James, are you drinking that Captain again?
Yes,
October 5th, 18th, and 26th is the library public tours we're running to raise money for the Tifton Library.
Okay, that makes more sense.
October 12th is just the horror con that Tiff Theater putting on, which is going to be. They did a Comic-Con last year. This year they're going to do a horror con, and Eric and Mike from Haunted Files are going to come up play Haunted Files episode at the theater of us investigating the theater, and then us three and Franny are going to go over and film the Haunted Files at the because they're going to do a new episode for season 3 at the library.
No, that's cool. All right, so
I'll
try to get my. I don't have my calendar in front of me, so I don't have my calendar in front of me.
September 7th.
September 7th.
I'll remind you.
That's definitely a range day that I'm going to in the morning. So, okay, but nevertheless, we are at that hour and a half mark, and TikTok's giving me that old "Hey, you're about to be up." So, I truly appreciate all of you joining us tonight, and you kind of share our experience. Again, I'm going to download this, send it to James. He's going to put it on his YouTube. So please go to YouTube, Cross the Line Paranormal, and he's going to be able to put that up there so you can actually listen to the whole thing. Highly suggest it. It's been very interactive, very fun. We go over all of our experiences that we had at Pennhurst Asylum. So I can't wait to go back. I know I may sound crazy, but I cannot wait to go back. For me, Trans-Allegheny, Sweet Springs, and Brushy State is definitely on my bucket list of wanting to go. So there's a lot more to be had. So if stay tuned. Does anybody else want to sign off?
We need to plan those locations for 2025.
Yes.
Most definitely.
Just go for a week.
We'll see the way my PTO is set up. All right. So I have a checking and a savings with PTO. And so it takes like 3 business days or 3 business years in order for it to transfer. So, we just got to get back on that one. So, but no, again, everybody, I truly appreciate y'all signing on and listening to us kind of banter back and forth. But this is what the car ride was like the entire way. It was nonstop.
And the voice messages back and forth.
Yeah. And whatever you do,
like my voice message.
I'm going to say this. Don't download WhatsApp. Okay. I'm going to put it out there publicly. Don't download WhatsApp.
Or if you do, just don't have one with Brandon.
Yeah, okay, then that's valid. All right.
Although then we would have never heard about Yames.
Oh, you better be glad. You're lucky I didn't say, get out of the bathroom, you stinking it up, or stuff like that.
Oh, and we never got into James going to the wrong bathroom.
I wouldn't have been.
Oh, yeah. We won't do that.
No, James,
all right. Look, TikTok has guidelines. TikTok has guidelines. Okay, we can't. Just saying, ladies and gents. So, but again, I appreciate every single one of you.
It didn't happen.
Sierra, Yvette, truly appreciate the invite for Across the Line, and then Across the Line inviting me.
Absolutely.
Yes. Thank you.
But everyone have an amazing night. James, I'll be in touch, and we're gonna sign off from here.
See ya.
Later, y'all.
Thank y'all. See y'all later.
Bye.